morning. Welcome to episode 30 of Living the Amazing Life podcast. I want to just thank you. I'm Coach Tim Harrell, and I have my good friend, Dr. Chris Bowen, with us today. I want you guys to give him applause out there. I'm so happy and so delighted to have him on the podcast today. It's truly an honor to have you here, Dr. Chris. You are just an awesome man of God. I don't want to mess up who you are and your bio. So, of course, this is an unscripted podcast. So I just want you to share with our viewing audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Dr. Chris Bowen. I pastored for 27 years. Absolutely loved what I did.
Wow.
8 years ago, I turned my successful mega ministry over to a young gentleman because I knew there was a next for me and a next for him. And so that was a lot of fun. So the last 8 years, I just really been living my dream, traveling. Executive director for Dream Releaser Coaching. We started that foundation with Dr. Chan 14 years ago. Just celebrated 14 years last Saturday. And so I'm doing that full-time, speaking full-time. I work for the Atlanta Police Department now. I'm there with them training the sergeants, lieutenants, and captains.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of fun, all through coaching. And so I'm just really living my dream, having a good time doing what I do.
And Dr. Chris, you are having a ball because, we're Facebook friends. And so I follow Dr. Chris on social media, and I said, this guy, every time I turn around, he's somewhere in the world, not in the country, in the world. And he's just having fun, him and his wife, I'm telling you, and his family, they're just having a great time. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And that's what living the amazing life is all about, is, helping people, adding value to people's lives so that they can enjoy their life. It's pretty much in a nutshell.
Right.
And we met through Dr. Chan, an event that Dr. Chan hosted. We want to give a shout out to Dr. Chan, great man of God. So honored to be connected to him. And so what I want to do today, Dr. Chris, is talk about, since you are a master coach and you were my coach, trainer, and taught me the valuable principles of coaching people. And so I just want to talk a little bit about coaching today, and talk about the benefits of having a life coach. What are the benefits?
There's so many benefits. Coaching is for people who are stuck that need to be unstuck. And so what we do as coaches is we really help people come to that place of realizing that there's a destiny for their life. Only 5% of Americans live their dream today. And the other 87% out of the 95 remaining doesn't even dream at all. And so our job is to help them find the dream that's inside of them. Why were they destined here? What is the purpose of them being here? And many times when you ask somebody what their purpose in life is, they'll say a job. I was born to be a pastor or a plumber, or that's not your purpose. That may be a part of what you do, but it's not your purpose. Right. And it wasn't until I was diagnosed with a terminal illness about 18 years ago now that I discovered mine, and mine was to give hope to people. That's my purpose. Yeah. If it was just pastoring, I would have, it would have ended whenever pastoring was done. But for me, that's when life really began, because I realized there was a next. So we really help people dig down inside of them, help them find their next, and be able to pursue that without saying, you know what, this is it. I don't know where I'm at. I'm just stuck. We want to help them get unstuck and live their dream.
And I know when I heard this phrase, life coach, the first thing I said to myself, I don't need a coach. What is a life coach? And I felt as though that I didn't need one until I did get a life coach. Yeah. And I had a coach for a year and a half coaching me through some difficult places in ministry. That, and I believe that we're here at Rebirth Church in the beautiful sanctuary of Rebirth Church. And when I started, my journey having a life coach, we were not in this building. Right. We were in a little small building. Wow. And I believe that my coach helped me navigate through some things, some hard places in ministry to get to a place where God desired me to be. And because I was stuck. Yeah. And I was miserable in ministry. Yeah. I was miserable. I was ready to give up. You could have stuck a fork in me and I was done, man. And I got the life coach, and he breathe life back into me by asking me those questions that I had the answers to, right? And that's the great thing about coaching. Yeah. What is a typical coaching session?
A session usually is about 50 minutes, and it depends on how long the process is for the individual.
Mm-hmm.
But a coaching session is something that helps you discover, again, those dreams. We use 5 powerful points called plans, powerful questions, listening, accountability, neutral, and silence.
Mm-hmm.
And through the art of coaching, we really help them to determine and develop what it is that they really need to seek after. Because it's a known fact that most people, when they hire a coach, they feel like, I'm hiring a coach to help me write a book. And then they discover there's other things before writing the book that they have to unveil.
Right.
And so just like you, 8 years ago, I transitioned from pastoring, which I absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm.
But it was through my coaching that I actually found out what my next was. And a lot of times people pass a cane instead of a baton because they don't understand that there is life after one particular career or job. And so life coaching is something that's really designed for every individual person. So there's no 2 sessions alike. There's no 2 groups alike. Whenever you coach somebody, it's something that's really discovering what's within them. What is their purpose? What is their desire? What is it they're trying to do? And it's really fun when you get those, what we know in coaching is aha moments, when you ask the right question and they realize that season is done, a new season is open, or a book is inside of them, or an entrepreneur spirit, or a weight loss program. So life coaching is very broad for whatever it is you want to exceed and excel in. That becomes part of your big picture.
And I when I got a coach, and then I became a coach, I really, I almost kind of kicked myself in the behind, because I was like, man, what if I had a coach when I started my church? What if I had a coach before I started my business? And I'm thinking, you just kind of think about, man, I could have been further along down the road.
Yeah.
I could have made more money. I could have had more folks here at Rebirth Church if I had a coach who could help me, deal with some things early in the game before I really got into the dream that I aspired to. And so it even with entrepreneurs, I do a lot of business training, and the first thing I do is assess the person. Don't start the business yet. We need to do some self-assessments on you, so to make sure that the business that you're pursuing is the right business for you.
Right.
Because a lot of people get into business, and they get into business because they saw someone else making a lot of money, and they say, "Oh, I want to do that business." And so they get into that business, and they find out that that's not the business I want to do.
Not their niche.
Not their niche.
Yeah.
And they exhaust all of their savings. They invest time and talents and gifts and all of this stuff into this business, and then walk away after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have you seen that in your experience?
Yeah. People don't know what they don't know. And so most people don't know they need a life coach. And the reason they do is because people, just like you said, they start with one thing and it's not really what is their gifting. It's not their niche. It's not what they feel like they should be doing. Just like I have a lot of weight loss clients, not even getting up to the entrepreneur of the business yet. But in weight loss, there's no such thing as a cookie cutter program in coaching. It is what works best for you, what works best for me, what works best for them. And who knows that? The person that knows that is the person that's being coached. They know what they're physically able to do.
Right.
In writing a book, in opening a business, it has to be something you're passionate about.
Right.
If you're not passionate about that business, you'll never succeed at it. But when you're passionate about it, that's what's going to flourish.
Right.
And so we just help you really discover what that passion is and help you to develop that passion to where it can become a business, where it can become something that you wake up every morning saying, wow, I'm living my dream. I'm doing what I desire to do.
Wow.
And so that's the biggest part, is really helping them unfold that, unpack that, and say, what is it that makes you get up in the morning time? If I ask somebody that right now here on this episode, what makes you get up in the morning? What would you do if money wasn't an object, education wasn't a factor? You will find the heart of a person. Very few people answer that question and say, I would be in the Bahamas on the beach. They would say, I would open up an orphanage, or I would give medical missions. They always have something much deeper. And so when you find their heart, then you can really find their purpose.
I just want to say my experience at the Fundamentals seminar was actually amazing. It was great information. It was so much to take in, but I'm glad that I had notes and that you guys provided just great tools. I'm going to definitely sign up for my 60-minute consulting session, and I'm looking forward to just prospering and putting the plan into action for my business.
Wow, the fundamental for starting a successful business was absolutely amazing. Even as an experienced business owner, I gained some great nuggets, a lot of great wisdom from the man of God, Tim Harrell. It was absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait for the next one.
My takeaway today was just to stay focused, committed, do what you love, and I took away some great tools, and I'm looking forward to the 60-minute consulting with Pastor Harrell, and I encourage you guys that are, wanting to start a business to, look into it and just stick to your dream and never give up.
Hi, I just want to say I was so happy to come out to the business seminar. When I came in today, I didn't have any business ideas in mind. I just said I'm gonna come here with an open mind. And listening to the wonderful delivery today and all of the trinkets that I learned, I realized that I think I may want to start a real estate business. I think I want to go into real estate. And it was just greatness to be here and that vision to come to me during the ceremony. Just want to say I had a great time.
Wow. God, this is great stuff. This is great stuff. And there may be people viewing the podcast today who, they may need a coach. So I'm definitely offering a free 60-minute coaching session if you desire to get a coaching session with me. But also if there's people who are who desiring to be a coach. Yeah. And anybody who ever asked me to say, okay, Tim, what did you get your coaching certifications from? Coaching certification from? I would tell them Dream Releasers. I've recommended 2 or 3 people to Dream Releasers. Sure. And so how would they, if they're folks who are aspiring to be a coach, how would they get in contact with Dream Releasers?
Well, I would encourage people that's not even inspired to be a coach just to take it for self-maintenance, because you learn. It's amazing how people think they're good listeners, but when they go through track 1, they realize they're not a good listener at all. They think they ask great questions, but usually it comes back on us. And the best way to do that is just for them to look at our website, www.dreamreleaser.com. And if you're wanting to be a coach, there's 5 tracks. We'll get you all the way through the ICF, the International Coaching Federation. We haven't really announced a whole lot yet, but we have 2 more that's coming up in January of next year. So we're growing. We've had over 1,000 graduates right now, and we are just, it's going into a 3rd university in Maine starting in January as well. So we're really excited about the growth of it, but people are grabbing hold of the importance of why I need a coach. And if you're looking for another career, I'm doing this from all over the world. I'm in Virginia today, Atlanta tomorrow, Dallas on Sunday, Denver on Monday, and I'm coaching all along the way. So it can be very freeing. But www.dreamreleaser.com.
And we'll have that on the screen, that be displayed on the screen, so you can get the website, so you can find out more information about Dream Releases. And I love the fact what you said, that it could be self-maintenance. You don't necessarily have to be aspire to be a coach, because being a coach may not be for everybody. But just having some self-maintenance, just doing the self-assessments, because some of the things that I've done with Dream Releasers, taking the self-assessment tests and different things, and finding out, man, I didn't know, wow, there's some other unique things about me. And one of the things the Lord had showed me when I started my coaching career is that I'm a person who has is a multi-dimensional person. A lot of times we look at ourselves as one dimension. And you just stated that you're doing so many different things and enjoying life and living your dream, because it was much more to you than just pastoring a church.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we'll get stuck in that one track, that one particular lane, and we never, explore different things about us. That, hey, I'm more than a pastor, I'm more than just an entrepreneur. I'm more than a business owner. I can be a coach. I can be a consultant. There's so many different things that people can be, and so that is what coaching does. It helps people to figure out that they got more.
The talents are within them, because all I did for 27 years was pastor. I don't want to say that in a bad way. I absolutely loved it. And people ask me now, after being out of the pastorate chair for 8 years, don't you miss preaching? The answer to that is no, because I'm preaching more now than I ever did as a pastor. But I'm also working for Chick-fil-A, McDonald's Corporation, Edward Jones Corporation, the Atlanta Police Department, and I'm able to go in the workplace. So I'm able to carry the gospel in through coaching. So it's much bigger than what it was. I'm touching more lives now than I ever did as a pastor. And I love pastoring. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to pastor. But when you really find your purpose, when you give hope, I gave hope behind a pulpit, but now I can do it in the marketplace. I can do it in my family. I can do it in your family. So it's much bigger. But we get so stuck and we just kind of focus on one thing instead of the big picture of what God has for our life.
Wow.
God's a big God. He's got a lot of gifts in every one of us. And we find one and we just kind of stay with that instead of saying, what all does God want me to cover?
Wow. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And that is the great thing about coaching is just helping people really see who they are.
Right.
That they're much more than what they look in, when they look in the mirror.
Right.
I'm much more than that.
Yeah.
And coaching helps bring that out. And I know that, like, with I'm reminded of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan was a champion, but he didn't win a championship until he had a coach, Phil Jackson. Jackson. And so if you want to win a championship, you may be a champion, but if you want to win the championship, get a coach, get a good coach, and that good coach can help you win that championship. So we got a few minutes left, Dr. Chris. And I have a few notes that I want to talk about here. Having a coach will help you succeed in life and achieve your dreams. And that's what we've been saying on the podcast today. And also the secret of creating a truly transformed life. It is the fact that no one ever reaches their true potential, their real greatness within themselves without a coach. Do you believe that?
Absolutely. As we stated earlier, not everyone can be a coach, but everyone needs a coach. Every single person. I think we could go further, faster if we have somebody. And again, people don't understand what a coach does. When they think of a coach, they think of baseball, softball, soccer. That's not what we do. We pull out from within you. So we don't give an assignment. We don't tell you what you should do. We don't tell you what book to read. We just ask you, so Pastor Tim, what is your next step? What is that next thing? And we pull the dream out of you. It's amazing of how many people have a dream down inside of them, but they have suppressed it because of life. Just life gets busy, life gets crazy, and so they don't live that dream. So I think that anybody that would try, and I really encourage them to hire you. That one session that you offered, a free session, that's phenomenal. I want them to hire you that one time and see how that can transform and move their life. One session will absolutely transition your life.
Yes.
So imagine having a coach for 10 years. I'm like you.
Wow.
My church was a mega ministry in Atlanta, but I believe that I could have been the biggest church in Atlanta had I had a coach. I didn't have that. It wasn't something then that was really offered. And so I really encourage people, wherever you're at, whether you're an entrepreneur, a husband, a father, a business person, wanting to write a book, wanting to lose weight, wanting to get fit, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, a coach can get you there.
Yeah, because the coach would help. You can see the potential you have.
Yeah.
And not know how to maximize the potential.
Right.
And that's what a coach would do, help you maximize the potential that you have, fulfill your purpose. And the great thing about coaching is that, when you're coached by a coach, you're really doing, you're really bringing your own success. The coach is really not bringing success to you. The coach is coming along, assisting you in your success, in you acquiring the success that you have. And that's what you have to understand is that I'm just going to show up. I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to hold you accountable, but I'm going to bring out the answers that you possess to your dreams, to your success, that you've been carrying around all of these years.
Right.
You have the answers,
right?
And that's the great thing about coaching.
And you may have the blind spots. The coach will help you see those blind spots that you can't see. And when I ask a powerful question like, what are you waiting on? They're kind of stumped. I don't know what I'm waiting on. How are you going to feel 5 years from now if you're in the same place now and you still haven't fulfilled that dream?
Right.
So we help you see the blind spots that you don't even know that is there.
Right.
And once you answer those questions, like, what am I waiting on? I have the potential now. I can go now. And so helping you not only to discover, but helping you to be honest with yourself, to see your blind spots, to move forward.
Yeah, and that was the most difficult thing in when I was being trained as a coach by you, is not telling people what to do.
Right.
Because coaching is not counseling.
Right.
It's really not mentorship, really.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that was the toughest thing for me, being a pastor. You always giving people advice and counseling folk. Mm-hmm. And so when I was told that, now that you're a coach, you can't give advice.
Yeah.
You just ask questions.
Right.
And that was once I got it, it was awesome. Yeah. It was awesome. And so how would people get in contact with you, Dr. Chris?
The best way is I'm very open. I love for people to text me is the best way, 678-409-0010, 678-409-0010. My website is Dr. Chris Bowen, DrChrisBowen.com, drchrisbowen.com. And just reach out to me. I love to see people succeed. I love to give hope where there's no hope. I love to encourage people.
That is living the amazing life. And Dr. Chris is living the amazing life, not just because he's traveling around the world and having fun, but he's helping people.
Yes.
And that's what living the amazing life is all about. I tell people all the time, living the amazing life is not where you travel, what kind of car you drive, what neighborhood you live in. Living the amazing life is helping others succeed in life.
Absolutely.
And now if you're doing that, you're living the amazing life.
Yep.
And so, Dr. Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's truly been my honor to have my master coach, my coach trainer on my podcast, the one who trained me to be a coach. And so I thank you so much, and all the great work you're doing throughout the world. And over this weekend, you hear all the different places it's going to be over the weekend. So he's going to be adding value to people. People are going to be blessed. And that's what I think. And you are an awesome leader too, because people, I believe that whenever a person comes into a leader's presence, they should never leave the same.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, they should never leave the same. And when we come into your presence, we never leave the same.
Awesome. And that's what I want to hear. I enjoy,
And that's the God knows truth. That's the God knows truth.
I enjoy, and I think the difference is when you're passionate about what you do. And I just landed an hour and a half ago, and whenever you ask about the podcast, I said, let's get this thing in, because I'm passionate about giving hope to people. Yeah. I love. It never feels like, and this may sound crazy, but since I've been coaching in the last 14 years, it's never seemed like I've worked a day in my life. It doesn't feel like I'm working. I've got conferences, I speak, I train, I teach, but everything I do is within the perimeter of giving hope.
Love it,
and
man.
so I do. I'm in heaven. So thanks for having me today. It's been a blast. It's been all my pleasure for sure.
Yeah, you're loving it, man. And when I see Dr. Chris, I said, man, this guy's loving life. He's living the dream. And that is an encouragement to me as well as others that, hey, man, if Dr. Chris is doing it, we can do it too.
Absolutely. Anybody can.
Yeah.
With a coach, I'm telling you can get there faster and further.
Absolutely. So y'all heard that. So again, guys, thank y'all for joining us today. Again, come on, give it up for Dr. Chris. And we thank, and hopefully we have him back on again. The next time he's in the area, we'll get him back on again. Or when he comes to Rebirth, we'll definitely have him on again. So again, guys, thank y'all for joining us today. And as always, you know what time it is. It's time for you to live your amazing life. God bless you.